coffee or something really fast. Because apparently I didn't realize I was recording instead of going out to the world. Oh, it's not even that early. It's about 20 of 9. Yeah, so, okay. Since I know I already got the chat, that's all I want from you. I got my Twitch feed up and working. Okay. I don't know why the YouTube live stream's not actually picking up on the channel. On the CHP Barracks site. Okay. So we'll gotta pop that out on its own. Okay. And pop that one out on its own. Oh, I'll get there eventually. Okay, so while you're waiting for me to get organized here, wanted to go ahead and let you know about the sites. You can go ahead and follow us. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at CHP Officer 20. And chat with us and follow us on Twitter at ACS77043. And of course, our own website, CHP officer20.info. The one best way to stay in touch with everything going on in the series. And of course, you can also register to be Friends of the Barracks. Basically, the perk of the Friends of the Barracks is you'll be able to actually access our dispatch room, which is our chat room on the site. So you can, on the same website, you can watch the series. And you can also chat with us in our little private room. And then, of course, if you wanted to help support the series, you could, from that CHP Officer site, you can click on one-time donation through PayPal. Or if you wanted to get rewarded for your donation and make it a recurring monthly, you can become a cadet to the barracks. There is the bronze, the silver, the gold, and the diamond levels. These levels all come with their own rewards. The one reward they all come with is you don't have to wait to see the next episode of the CHP Officer Cops in the LSPDFR Matrix. The Friends of the Barracks are all new episodes get released Wednesday at noon, 12 Central. Live, and it's one episode a week. Whereas cadets of the barracks get multiple releases on a average of every 2 days, and there's no waiting. As long you will get the episodes, be able to see the episodes as they're released. More rewards for the higher levels. At the highest level, for instance, you actually get a free copy of our book in paperback, for instance. But mainly, like I said, you get a new episode about every 2 days, and there's no waiting. So go ahead and check that out. And meanwhile, our goal today for the universe is gonna be, I want to once again try to terraform Mars. My goal is to make Mars and I'll show you where it is. Not Mars. Showing what's going to tell us if we win or not. As soon as I find it, I'll let you know. Okay, it is. I guess it's going to be in the materials because it's nowhere else. There it is. Basically, we're looking here. This is the comparison on a similarity index. Okay, that's fine. But we want the likelihood to find life. We want this to start to increase. Okay, we want this to be anything greater than 0. So, let's see what we have to do to change the planet. Now, one of the things we'd have to do is Mars doesn't come, or it doesn't come with a strong magnetosphere, which is a bad thing because our star likes to irradiate anything in its path. So what we would need to do is to set up some solar reflective, some kind of solar collection plates in orbit. This would do two things. It would take some of the solar energy that is coming at the planet on a regular basis and convert it through the photovoltaic cells into energy that could actually be transferred and transported down to the planet. Kind of the same instance as what the technique we'd have to use on Venus. And the other plan of the collection cells would be that the Martian surface, so it doesn't get irradiated and killing all of us, it will reflect most, if not all, of the bad stuff, and even if it doesn't do all of it, it should be able to leave whatever's left for the Martian magnetosphere to reflect and absorb away. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to set up a magnetosphere. Now, I'm going to borrow from Earth the setting. Now, is a artificial magnetosphere going to be is an artificial magnetosphere going to be as good as the real thing? I would say probably not. Just never mind. There it is. Okay, show the magnetosphere. Okay, so Earth has a magnetosphere of 2.38. I would say logically, at approximately 2.4. 2, 1. And being a smaller planet, we're going to go with a magnetosphere on Mars after we construct it of 1.0. Okay, that of course gives us a little bit of a magnetic field too. Or at least a simulated one with the efforts of the technology in place. Okay, so we now have at least something to help us safeguard our planet. Okay. Now, we're going to have to get the temperature up. Because I don't know about any of you, but right away, one thing I like about Mars is Mars has a 24.8 hour day. I think if I had the extra 9/10 of an hour that Mars has over Earth, I think I could probably start to get some stuff done. Because right now I figure I'm borrowing about a half hour from every day, which works out fine until the sometime in the 22nd century when I'm anyway, I won't steal all the jokes from Lucy. Anyway. Okay, so we're going to have to try to find a way to increase that temperature. Our goal here would be a temperature close to what Earth has, which would be about a 15.2 average. Because if you think I like a 50.7 degree planet, you're nuts. So, of course, we also have to start producing water and some plants. This atmosphere is mostly carbon dioxide, so it's almost a plant haven. Planet has a little oxygen, and that's proven by its carbon dioxide. You can't have CO2 without oxygen, and you can't have rust without oxygen. So, and we can't count on our supplies to last forever. So, what if we take the first thing, believe it or not, we would have to try to raise would be our greenhouse emissions. But anyway, so we would want to start a little bit of drilling. We'd want to get as close to that polar ice cap as we can so that we can start getting some water, plus what we would have with our own supplies and recycling. So let's kick that up just a couple notches. Okay, now we got a surface temperature. We want to really be careful adding any hydrogen into this mix, because that will cool off the planet. If we are able to decrease the albedo and hey, awesome. Just trying to make Mars habitable here while I'm waiting for GTA to actually update to the latest pack. Found... Oh, absolutely. I've always had... Ooh! Now that's a site. Is that the one I'm thinking? Yes, it is. Olympus Mons just came into view. Tallest volcano in the solar system. Or mountain, I should say. Easy way of finding Olympus Mons is you always look for these three Monses, or three mountains. Once you find this, Olympus is right there. And then if you're into Star Trek, Utopia Planitia would be right in this area right here. Absolutely. And then, of course, the face on Mars is approximately in this area here. How was stargazing? Awesome. Okay, let's increase our greenhouse effect to bring up that temperature a little bit. And we can speed up time a little bit. Let's bring ourselves up to a day a second. New moon. Yep. Yeah. Ooh, even see a peak of Saturn there. Okay, well, temperature's coming up. Still negative 48, so that's a little too cold for me. Um, Greenhouse emissions are coming down. Damn it. What if we enable climate? That kind of increases the difficulty just a tad bit. Okay, yep, no, can't actually do any kind of, Oh, so I was talking about GTA initially. Well, you see, the thing with Mars is the first thing would be the temperature. I mean, that wouldn't be a problem initially because if you construct habitable domes on the surface, but unless you want to live in those domes forever, you're going to have to start changing the environment. So we'd want to make the surface temperature somewhere comparable to Earth, somewhere in that 15.2 degrees centigrade temperature, and bring up the oxygen enough. But also, Mars has a magnetosphere, but it's extremely weak. So you're going to get bombarded with solar radiation. Borrowing from the theories and hypotheticals of them talking about terraforming Venus, you could actually construct so basically excuse me, solar panels and solar reflective devices to collect solar energy that could be transferred down to the planet. But you'd also have the reflectiveness of an artificial magnetosphere, so you're not going to fry from the solar radiation. So that would be number one. So basically, I simulated that down here. Earth's is like a 2.4, 2.38 magnetosphere. So I arbitrarily gave it a 1, assuming the technology wouldn't be as good as the artificial kind. So, sorry, the technology wouldn't be as good as the natural stuff. Something like that. But it doesn't look like my temperature's coming up enough, and it looks like we're about to enter the Martian, possibly the Martian winter. Let's kick the greenhouse gas up a little bit more. Now, with Venus, the issue would be Venus's surface pressure is just immense. It's hot and very heavy. Whereas if you're up in the higher altitudes, Venus is still very similar to Earth on pressure. I actually seen where the one theory I have on that is they could actually use, and using a term from Star Trek 4, is transparent aluminum. That actually does exist, and you can actually find it on the web, and they've actually started calling it in some circles transparent aluminum because of that movie. Something like that could theoretically, I think, withstand the pressure of a surface landing on Venus. So that would at least help you construct a dome to live under, essentially, while you're trying to lighten up the atmosphere. The only bad thing there is Venus does not have a magnetosphere. Venus has a retrograde rotation, simply meaning that it actually is spinning the opposite way on its axis that it's actually orbiting around the sun. That's why the Venusian day is essentially 243 days long, and its year is 224. So spinning that slowly on her axis, she has no magnetosphere and a thick atmosphere, full of mostly sulfur. So temperature's still hanging in there. If we take that up, triple or nothing. And let's, how are we doing? Are we at Earth? Nope, not yet. Basically what we're looking for is life likelihood. We can get that above 0, we can declare victory. Let's go ahead and increase the water. And take that up to a 4. Surface pressure is still a bit on the low side. But of course we're only making minor changes to the planet. Here's a solar system trivia question. If you were to stand on a body, say the moon with no atmosphere, and you look at the sun, what color would the sun appear? Okay, temperature's coming up a little bit. Albedo's holding steady at 0.2. We're now Christmas Day 2027. Close. It would actually appear white because of how hot it burns, and we wouldn't have an atmosphere to actually deflect and refract the particles. Yeah, the only reason that thing appears yellow to us, or orange or red, is because of the way the light from the sun every 8 minutes reflects and refracts. Yeah, Earth is what gives the sun its color. Yeah, but if you're standing on the moon with no atmosphere, the light particles is not going to reflect or refract on anything. Not exactly sure what it would look like from on Mars, if it would actually be reflected and refracted the same as on Earth and appear red, which would make for an interesting theoretical question. I mean, it has an atmosphere, obviously a lot thinner than Earth's. Atmospheric pressure 256 to the 16th, 661. Earth is 98.2, almost double the strength. So, I don't think it would be reflected or refracted enough to actually change colors amongst the spectrum. I'm going to write that question down because I'm going to have to research that. Color of the sun on Mars. It very well might be a light yellow. Because of being small, it's still got to go through an atmosphere. Well, I actually would enable its climate, but then trying to terraform it to bring its temperature down, the system actually won't let us make those small changes. But I am glad you could join us today. And if we can get this, damn it, there goes the temperature down again. Son of a... Let's kick this up to a 5. Nope. What if we drop the albedo a little bit? How are you doing today, Fantastic? Okay, I do have to check something. That question's actually got me right now. No, that question's just eating at me and it's not going to go away. Perspective. Sphere. So the number of photons falling distance, okay, it's proportional to square distance. Okay. So, apparently, I think of questions that most people don't. Everyone's telling it's all about all the information I'm finding right now is how big the sun would look, what would a what would it look like at twilight, and so on. But nobody is curious about what color it would look from Mars through the Martian atmosphere. Oh, absolutely. That's exactly what I've been doing. Uh, fantastic is increasing the water, trying to stay reasonable as far as. Okay, so we'll go up to 642 to the 14th. And okay, greenhouse is up to 5.15, so that's an improvement. And I started it about 3 years ago. Game time, we're going about a day per second. And in 3 years, I brought the temperature up maybe 1 to 2 degrees. And where are we right now? Still life likelihood 0.0. Son of a. Oh yes, I did that. I went based on the um, based on some terraforming theories, as I was talking with Awesome about, that they have for Venus, and that is to put um, solar panels and other reflective devices into orbit in order to collect some solar energy, transfer that to the planet, and reflect the rest of the stuff. Um, so that's what I assumed on Mars. I borrowed from Earth's own magnetic field, which is approximately 2.4. So I simply used some arbitrariness and divided that by 2, and I made it a 1.00, based on the assumption that technology created magnetosphere won't be as good as the natural one. So we do have a magnetosphere, and I think I do have that turned on actually. Yes, magnetic field went down a little bit. Oh, now that's encouraging. I've never gotten that high in temperature before. Negative 38.6. That's encouraging. I am actually in the process of setting that up. The Discord app. Because, like, right now, for instance, I have 3 chats open, so just in case anyone comes in on any of them, I'll be able to see. Because I got YouTube, Twitter's chat open, obviously YouTube, and I've also got my own dispatch chat room open. And it's taking up the bottom of my second monitor. At least in that case, I could get a Discord server and get everyone on one chat. Okay, where are we in temperature? 39. Okay, last time Mars was here, it was almost negative 60 still. So I like our results. Let's push a little more. Okay. And let's increase the greenhouse emission a little bit more. Let's go up to 7. Fantastic. I'm actually in southeast Texas, actually. Houston. How about yourself? Fantastic. Okay, negative 44. Okay, it's not bad. It's fighting hard to stay in the mid 40s. Okay, it must be going into winter if it's coming down, which is, we're still at a victory because winters on Mars used to push us to almost negative 70. So I did uh, a solar system yesterday. I wanted to see what would happen if I ignited um, Jupiter into its own star. And the funny result was Jupiter was actually strong enough at even only half the size of uh, at half the size of the sun. It was still strong enough to pull the sun and all the inner planets into the asteroid belt. So the sun got a few rings because it kept some asteroids in orbit around itself. But I was not expecting the inner planets to stay with the sun. India. Yeah, have a pretty good viewership from India, and pretty much it's growing all over the place. All over the place. But glad to have you here, Fantastic. Don't forget to, if you haven't, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're alerted to all the my live streams. Normally I do, at least on the LSPDFR, I do live streams every Friday at 12 o'clock. That would be minus 6 on Greenwich Mean Time. And then I also upload new episodes of the LSPDFR on Wednesdays at noon, 12 Central, which would be same. And then sporadically, I love this game. I saw it. Another YouTuber's had this, and I've loved the solar system for so long. Just studying it, looking at it, coming up with theories, as me and Awesome found out a moment ago. And I just had to get the game. I had to. And then also I've done a few American Trucker. Oh, actually, okay, that's a lie. I've only done one American Trucker one. I haven't played that one in a while. I'm going to probably have to play that today. And right now I'm waiting for GTA to update itself. Hopefully that fixes a memory hole I was getting. Which is apparently why my stream ended after basically an hour and a half yesterday. Some memory leak was causing the program to crash after very little time. I just hope it fixed it. Okay, where are we? 54. It's holding its greenhouse atmosphere. So If I'm not mistaken, we should be on a Martian winter now, so 54. And that temperature should start to come up again. Okay, let's go ahead and increase the water. Oh, oh, oh. Something's happening on the surface. I see a little blue tint coming. Temperature's coming up good. Greenhouse is coming up. I just wish I could increase the surface pressure, but okay, temperature's coming up. Let's go ahead and kick up that greenhouse atmosphere a little bit more. We'll take her to 10 this time. Okay, and how are we? Well, I already know I'm not going to be... Ooh, ooh, ooh. Chance of life is coming up. 0.00357. .389. What's the status of our water? Still a solid. I should have known that. Come on, John. What's the temperature on the planet? Okay, we're coming into the Martian summer. How's our magnetosphere doing? Okay. Magnetic field and the magnetosphere doing good, doing good. Greenhouse atmosphere's coming up. Temperature's at negative 35 C. So still about 50 degrees too cold. Okay, we should be officially in the Martian summer now. Let's go to 0.12 on the albedo and let's artificially inflate that to 13. Okay, we're at negative 28.7. We'll kick up the water a little bit more. Oh, 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 we got some frost. Or at least water in the atmosphere. Okay, where is that compared to Earth's water? 0.0226. Okay, so really I'm limited there. Well, that's basically what I'm trying to do through the greenhouse, increasing the greenhouse gas. I'm trying to keep it where what could humans actually do in a terraforming. Basically, I'm basically doing this in the same kind of semi-realism as when I play on uh, my YouTube series Cops in the LSPDFR Matrix. I try to play semi-real. So um, that's why I'm increasing the amount of water in the atmosphere, things that we could feasibly do. Um, and I'm also increasing the greenhouse effect to help increase the surface temperature. Because obviously increasing the amount of otherwise actually affecting like nitrogen. Right. Um, and I would do that if I could find research that we could actually do that other than the greenhouse effect. Oh, no. No worries. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to keep it to stuff I know for sure we could actually do. Um, Especially since supply runs from Earth to Mars are going to take about um, 6 months. So we wouldn't have a steady stream of supply ships coming in. One of the things awesome is if I can get LSPDFR's memory hole fixed, is I actually am going to try to start up the state-by-state patrol. And I actually did download some Florida cars, actually. Well, at least the Florida Highway Patrol cars. So, and I already have the state police uniform as well, so. Yeah, pretty much. I once heard Jeff Fagnano. I hope I said that name right. I always say that too. But I once heard him use the phrase semi-realistic, and I like it. Because if you try to play LSPDFR, for instance, too serious, it's not really possible. It's not feasible. It's possible, but not feasible. Because then if you're behind somebody, you're going to pull them over because 9 times out of 10 because they didn't use their signal. You know, and so sometimes you have to let go of the small stuff because so like I said, semi-realistic. That's why, for instance, yeah, I always try. My mind says it right. My mouth never does. um, but um, uh, like for instance, that's why I don't search bikes anymore. If the guy's unless he's on a bagger, if he's on, basically the Harley, I'll search that. Mm. Um, yeah, I don't search bikes unless they're a Harley anymore because most of the other bikes don't have a storage compartment, and I found it very unrealistic to search a crotch rocket and find a nuclear device. Really? Where was this thing? Shoved up the tailpipe of the bike? I mean, no. It's so really. I walk over if it's nighttime. I'll walk over with my flashlight and give it a visual, just to do the role play. But I really don't search it through the system anymore. Okay, we have now re-entered the Martian winter. Temperature is staying no lower than the mid 40 centigrade. So let's go ahead and increase our greenhouse effect. We're going to take her to 15 points this time. Well, we got some signs that this could life may be possible. We are at 0.00484, and the similarity to Earth is rising. I really don't want to increase the water too much more because then, you know, when it does, if we do get the temperature up, we're going to be on a water planet. Okay, let's see if we can bring the albedo down to a steady of 10. Okay. We're approaching approximately the Martian spring. Temperature's coming up. Well, the first part of my goal is half there. We have life is possible. Now we just want to get the temperature up. See how high I can get the temperature. My goal, my ultimate goal would be a 15.2 degrees centigrade, which would match Earth on surface temp. But if I can get it anywhere from a 0 to a 15, I would be happy. Okay. Going deeper into the spring. Negative 28. I like where this is going. Winters right now might be a bitch and a half, but greenhouse effect's going, atmosphere is steady. I'm basically, the last time I tried a terraform, I tried it on Venus. I was kind of successful for about 10 game years. And then I couldn't seem to settle the atmosphere. The atmosphere actually became unstable, and it started bleeding off atmosphere to the point where it had no atmosphere, and it was just a rock in space then. So I have messed this up before. Okay, we're almost 8 years from when the game started. Whenever you start up Universal Sandbox, it starts in a very accelerated mode, and by the time I stopped it at 2026. So okay, should be just about the Martian summer. Holding steady, 24.9. I could be theoretically. Well, we're still lower. We still have a lower greenhouse than Earth does. Okay, let's go ahead and increase our greenhouse a little bit more. We're going to take her up to 21. There's a shock and a half. My Windows 10 it just popped open. It pops open the news articles, and uh, the Bill Cosby trial ended. And it's supposed to be surprising it ended in mistrial. Um, well, I always wanted to get involved with, doing something entertainment-wise. I just never had any good ideas. And then, um, I mean, I've had a YouTube channel since, my God, I don't even remember now, 2011-ish, but I never really used it because I didn't have any good ideas of what I wanted to do with it. And um, then I saw LSPDFR, um, and it was like, that's a good idea. And so I took my, found my niche in what I wanted to do, which was an episodic and just a bunch of semi-realistic role play to, bring justice and try to bring other characters into it instead of just myself. So that's when I came up with, for instance, to be equal opportunity. My next character was another CHP officer, Tina Woods, and then I came up with some other. Then I wanted to represent the other counties and other law enforcements, and that's how I came up with all the other characters. And like for instance, my two producers who helped me with marketing, helped me with other ideas of filming and I shouldn't say filming, but I guess in a way it is, but help me in all areas of pre and post production, and to keep the idea fresh. Oh, absolutely. Because I always said, if they're going to give me something, I need to give back to them. And the different tiers of the donation. For instance, if you're willing to do the monthly membership, it's for the silver level, you get the character and choose which branch he's in. If you get the go to a gold level, you actually get to choose where on the map he patrols, and whenever he's in the series, you get an associate producer credit. It's again my way of saying, thank you to that person. So. And of course, my two producers are Sean Bedford and Dan Kraft. Actually, Dan initially was going to give him a officer. I thank you for that. The Diamond Plan is a phenomenal benefit-oriented plan. So Dan, I was going to give him an officer in the series, but he wanted to be FBI, and there's some call-outs for that, but there's not a lot, and it just didn't seem realistic for him to be responding to CHP-oriented calls. He got attached to his new position, so that's why when you're watching the episodes, at least the later ones, I start referring to the coroner when he shows up as Dan, and I start having a conversation with him so I can set up something. So in editing, I can actually then edit in a line or two from Dan. And then I'm also working on a way to possibly use TeamSpeak so that when I'm recording an episode and the coroner were to show up, Dan could actually have an actual live role. Currently, I'm just trying to set it up. That's been put on not a distant back burner, but a back burner because I'm just trying to get that memory hole fixed. And I hope the new Rage plugin and the update from GTA will fix it. I hope. Because right now I can only go about 10-12 minutes before the game says it's out of memory, which it shouldn't be. Actually, that is in my eventual plan. Because I do watch the DOJ episodes quite frequently, so and joining in with DOJ, yes, I would absolutely do the CHP or the SAHP. The only thing I think would probably shock anyone is, and in the later episodes, I show it. This is mostly when 1AM20 now has been promoted to lieutenant, and as of in episode 55, and 1AM20, namely my character, does not respond well to any citizen say the following, end quote. Well, I'm a sovereign citizen. Your laws don't apply to me. Really? The laws I'm enforcing don't apply to you because you're a sovereign citizen? Okay. Let's see how that works out for you. You're telling me you're a sovereign citizen right now? Yes. Well, then here's what I need you to do for me right now. Takes out gun, points at that person. Get out of the damn car. Right now. Places suspect under arrest. Why? Because according to the FBI and the Homeland Security, mostly, the sovereign citizen movement has been matched up to the idea of domestic terrorism. So, by admitting to me you are a sovereign citizen, you are admitting to be a domestic terrorist. This gives me and since we have a war on terror, this gives me the right to hold you up to 72 hours pending the FBI's investigation. So yeah, I have a unique view on sovereign citizenship. Whoa, temperature 18.9 negative. That is not bad. That's the best we've done so far. Holy shit. 0.00504, Earth-like 0.76. We are getting there. Water's holding steady. Okay, let's increase that greenhouse a little bit more. Okay, now we're just trying to not freeze our asses off. Let's push this up to 30 and let it ride. I mean, we're still really... I wonder what the surface pressure is like at the... Oh, absolutely. I do, because while I've, in my RP, I've actually started giving each of the officers who I'm doing, that are part of the troop, so to speak, I've started giving them their own personalities. And I've always tried to do this, mostly in the later episodes, because I didn't really do it in the beginning at all. Where I actually start coming up with dialogue for the suspect or simply the person I pull over. So I actually try to have a running commentary with that person. So essentially, I'm playing both sides of the checkerboard. But yeah, that's one of the good things about the DOJ is the fact, or any of the role plays, is that you don't know what that perp's going to say when you pull him over. Yeah, 19.9. Okay, as long as we don't dip too much into the 30s, this next revolution we should see maybe, hopefully, -10. Okay, it's -21. Oh, come on, Winter, don't be that big of a bitch to me. What if we drop the albedo? 0.10, I don't really want to drop it too much more. Okay, where is Earth comparison? I think Earth was what, 33? Well, let's take her up. Let's take her up to 35. See what that does. Basically, we want that water that's in the atmosphere to not be solid. Well, it's been working since I had this game, so it should be... That's not the screen I needed. That's the screen I needed. Where is it? Ready? Okay, looks like that's ready to play. So let's get this terraformed and see what happens. Okay, we're at -20. Let's kick up the simulation just a little bit more. Let's go to 10 days per second. -21. Okay. Greenhouse gases are rising just a bit, but that's still okay. That would be expected under human influence anyway. -10. Come on. Break the positive. Break the barrier. Come on. Break that 0. And we are now at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But then, damn it, temperature crashes immediately. We got up to 32. Let's go up to 45. Hell with it. Let's go to 50. Damn it. Atmosphere just can't handle that. Crashed right back to 40. I've seen them. I haven't actually played Summer Car 2. Okay, so temperature goes down to -18 in the winter. I had my revolutions backwards. We're now passing into spring. So winters look like it's going to be approximately a -20 on average. Summertime high. Oh, we got some water on the surface. Summertime high is going to be about almost a +7. What's the old girl look like? Let's pause that. Got some water on the... Looks like we got some water on the surface. Cloud cover. Where's my spot? I'm believing it's right there because that is the highest point on the planet. or the solar system in and of itself. So it looks like almost the water that's on the surface actually creates basically creates like a frozen ocean all around the base of Olympus Mons. Okay, let's see if we can... This is the last revolution right here. Let's see if we can just get it up. Okay, greenhouse. Nope. It just will not hold anything hot too much higher than 40 artificially. Okay, springtime high is going to be... That's as high up as we're going. Positive 7 in the spring. Negative 20 in the winter. And... we'll verify that. Okay, well, actually negative 17.4. So, negative 17. Okay. Greenhouse emissions have to be a 41.4. Atmosphere is still too thin to, that we'd be able to breathe. But let me verify that. What is the pressure? Air pressure on the summit of Mount Everest is... can I change that to kPa? Okay. So surface pressure 0.661 kPa. Yeah. No, that atmosphere is way too thin to even consider breathing without any kind of oxygen. Of course, if we assume that we'd have, the Mount Everest summit is 30 kPa, so, and that's the thinnest atmosphere that we could aim to breathe, unless we're going up by plane. I suppose if we assume that, we start planting some plants, they're going to give off oxygen. I wonder. Okay, well, we still technically got the... Yeah, that's what I'm actually looking at now. Because the first thing is the plants would be too cold on Mars originally. we're actually getting up to about 40, 45 degrees in the spring and in the summer months, but of course we're dropping right off the scope in winter, going to negative 18, which isn't all entirely bad. Which would, well, that wouldn't actually be that cold, honestly. Negative in the winter, it's negative 2.2. And let me tell you, I'm originally from central New York, so I could tell you negative 2.2 isn't anything. And about 45 in the summer. That would kind of suck, but they would just remind me of Home Sweet Home. Let's see. You'd first need to increase the thickness of the Martian atmosphere to get more, of course. So, put bacteria. Because of the temperature of water. Right, but it wouldn't be solid anymore because we're getting above freezing. Even if you could compose them. But we came in with its own magnetosphere, so number 3 would no longer be against it. And we've got water. Of course, in the winter it freezes again. Okay, so basically everything that was listed wouldn't apply. The plans could theoretically survive now. So what is the Earth atmospheric mass is 5.1 to the 18th. So let's put that in terms of Earth. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 5, 4. Let's increase that to 1/2 of what Earth is. And okay, so we've increased, but we'd have to start up a recycling program to get rid of some of that greenhouse gas. No, that's too hot. Damn it. Okay, so now if we increase the albedo, where are we? Okay, we're in approaching summer. Well, if we could do the okay, 15, 16. Oh, no, 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 no. Damn it. Well, it's not bad. 17 is still reasonable. Okay, didn't go too much higher than 17. Temperatures, that's not bad. That's only, a few degrees below 30. And that's as cold as it's getting. And now it's going to come back around and go up to around 18 degrees centigrade. So and we got some water. It's solid and liquid, which is just like Earth. So the question is, how do we do? End score, life likelihood, 0.359 or 0.36. In comparison, Earth is a 0.993. So, considering that was at one point, and it's almost a 0.8, it's over a 0.8 Earth similarity now. So, I like that enough that I think we can declare victory. I am going to save that because that was a pain in the butt. And let's see, what year did we stop in? 2061. So it took 35 years to get it terraformed right. Okay, so let's go ahead and we can close that one out. The only one thing that I still really have a hard time trying to do is terraform by creating a binary system. Haven't actually been able to get a successful binary system where life's possible yet. Okay, let's see. Oh, Jesus, really? Yeah. Okay, fine, whatever. Okay, so now we're going to see if while I'm doing that, I should probably come over here. Okay. And go to live stream. Well, I actually don't have the FHP ones installed right now. Um, and because right now I'm just trying to make sure the the game is actually going to start working again. But I downloaded them so long ago, I don't even remember. I wonder if it'll actually say. Oh, there. No, that's the ped. That's the car. I wonder if he put his name in the README. I would hope. Oh yeah, it's because I just right now it doesn't have anything to lock onto. Oh, there it is. Dee. Oh, let's see. Nope, that's the ELS configuration file. That's a new one for someone to put in. No, I don't remember who I downloaded this off of from lspdfr.com. It's just FHP v.01. I don't know. I don't believe I downloaded it off the same person. Nope, that's just instructions on how to install. Okay, so let's okay, give me 2 seconds, and I'm going to just temporarily stop the stream, and then I'm going to start it right back up. Give me 1 moment.